2 softwares you need. And if you do this consistently is where you're gonna get to that 2 to 4 deals a month. If you do that, you are going to get deals. And my rule of thumb is if it's at least within 10%. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I'm going to teach you the only 2 softwares you need to get to 20 to 50K a month consistently wholesaling real estate, okay? Now, I know too many people that get stuck. They do one deal, or maybe they're still trying to get their first deal, and they're never able to make it a consistent income. And that, oh geez, this looks awful. And then that is just an awful business that's not fun for anybody, because the whole reason you got into this was to make a lot of money consistently. So the first thing you need to know is that my name is Tyson Smith. I have done hundreds of wholesale deals. I have done creative financing, seller financing, sub-2, novations, you name it, all virtually in 20 plus different states. And I have helped thousands of other people get their first deal as well. Let's just kind of go through here. Here are some of my students, like Luke here, who 60 to 80K in projected profit. Oh, also, guys, by the way, this was taken today. 6 days ago, closed a $70,000 deal. Here's the text I sent with him. He closed at $70,000 to $50,000 and 120, all in the span of 2 days. Looks like he is projected to do 200K this month. Oh, and also has a deal that we just talked about where he's projected to make 200,000 on that one as well. So it could be a $400,000 month for him. We have Casey, who just hit his first 100K month in March. Zach closing a $30,000 deal. Eric just closed his first deal for, what was this? $20,000, whatever. I have thousands of these. They go on forever. So I know what I'm talking about, and I can help you. So what we're going to be going over today is the actual 2 softwares you need. These are going to be based around the 2 things you need to actually get deals, which is number 1, data and skip tracing. Right? This is going to be the actual properties that we're going to reach out to. We need to get the best data, the best skip tracing, so we know exactly who are the people that are most likely to sell their property quickly, because that's what we need as wholesalers. And then we need something to actually reach out to them, right? There are many ways that you can reach out to these people, whether it's, texting them or calling them or direct mailing them or whatever it is. And today I'm going to show you the ones that are the best for actually reaching out to these people. If you are a beginner, or basically anybody who has $1,000 a month to spend on wholesaling, okay? Because that is gonna be the total cost of these. If you don't have $1,000 a month, there are other ways that you can go get your first deal. That's not the point of this video. Maybe I'll make one of those later. So go ahead and subscribe if that is something you're interested in, and let me know in the comments. But this video is gonna be about 2 softwares you need that can consistently get you to $20,000 to $50,000 a month wholesaling real estate, okay? The first one is going to be a website called Virtual Flip Leads, okay? If you guys are familiar with like batch leads or PropStream, it is like that. The reason why we want to use Virtual Flip Leads is because of this sell score, okay? Essentially, what Virtual Flip Leads has is a AI machine learning algorithm that anytime a property sells, it tracks all of the hundreds of thousands of data points about that property, right? Every single property has so many data points about what neighborhood it's in, who owns the mortgage, what is their interest rate, how long have they lived there, the demographics of the owner, how much money they make, right? There's all kinds of data points about the property. And this, anytime a property sells for cash, is gonna take all of those data points and extrapolate it against all the other properties in the area and assign each one a score based on how likely they think that one is to sell. And as properties sell for cash, based on their algorithm, it keeps getting tweaked to change, so it's only showing you the properties that are most likely to sell for cheap. Now, Virtual Flip Leads is super cheap. It starts at $99 a month. However, if you want to get to that consistent $20,000 to $50,000 a month, I recommend this Pro plan, which is $200 a month, and here's why. The $100 a month plan gives you 5,000 monthly leads. That is 5,000 skip traced leads, okay? The 200 one gives you 20,000. Now, you could also get the 500 for 50,000, but you have to spend more money. But anyway, basically all of these plans are the exact same. However, if you do want to get to that point where you are doing consistently like 2 to 3 to 4 deals a month, which will get you into that $20,000 to $50,000 a month consistently range. You're going to need at least 20,000 monthly leads, okay? Once we get into virtual flip leads, let me go ahead and log into my account. This is what it's gonna look like. Let me move my camera, probably right here is fine. We're gonna go ahead and search an area, okay? And I'm gonna show you exactly how you're gonna wanna pull your lists. Now, the way you pull your list is obviously gonna be different for every different sort of marketing source, the way you actually reach out to them. The way I'm gonna teach you right now is pretty good for all of them, but it's especially perfect for the kind that we're doing. Basically, you're gonna search wherever you want to pull a list in. I'm gonna be pulling a list today in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm gonna search Jacksonville, Florida. I'm gonna click off market. I'm gonna go into the filters, and I'm gonna first, number one, make sure I'm just looking for residential, single family, residential. That's it, okay? Now you could also do mobile homes, condos, whatever, but for this, the intents and purposes of this video, I just want single family residential. And then that is the only thing we will need in property characteristics. MLS status, we obviously want no. We don't want any on-market properties. I'm an on-market hater. I hate dealing with realtors. They fuck everything up. I'm not into it. So off-market. Ownership info. We want individual owners, right? So these are only people who own properties under their own name. So it's not owned under a LLC, a trust, or anything like that. The reason why we do this is because it's easier to skip trace individuals. You're gonna have a higher likelihood of getting the right number, okay? There are plenty of wholesale deals of people of properties that are owned by LLCs and whatnot. And it's not like I always do this. I only do this for this particular marketing channel, and you'll see why in a second. We also want them to have a minimum year of ownership of at least 7 years. So we know that they've owned the property for a long time, right? We don't want somebody who just purchased a property, has no equity or anything like that. And also speaking of that, we want to make sure our estimated equity rate is at least 35%. So we know that they have equity in the property. They'll actually be able to take a discounted cash offer for the property. And then lastly, okay, we don't need this, just automatically did that because I selected individually owners, so that doesn't matter. And then lastly, demographics. Okay, this is already done. Perfect. Once we've done that, we've cut down to 66,000 properties. However, that's way too many. We don't want to market to all 66,000. So we're going to go ahead and change it to the 100% most likely. This is that sell score I was talking about. Okay, this is that AI. Now look, in order to put this into words that you guys can like understand even better, is you know how when you're scrolling on Instagram and Instagram shows you ads of shit that you want, it feels like it reads your mind, like it's listening to your conversations? It's because, well, it probably is listening to, but also it's because it knows exactly what posts you like, how long you spend looking at those posts, what you comment, what you share. And based on that, it builds you this user profile and it wants to show you things that it thinks you're gonna buy. Because if you buy shit from Instagram ads, then advertisers are going to advertise more on Instagram and they make more money, okay? Virtual Flip Leads is doing the exact same thing. It wants to figure out what properties are most likely to sell for cheap, like I said, using all of its data points. And then when properties sell, it takes that information and says, oh, here are these other properties that are similar to that one. And the cycle continues. As they sell, they say, okay, we want more like this. So it gives you a list of the properties that are most likely to sell. So that you consistently use the platform because it makes you money because it finds you deals, okay? That's what's going on here. So as you can see, we've cut down that list to 1,500 properties that have all been ran through the algorithm, the AI algorithm. They're residential, single family only properties. They're not on market. They're owned by an individual, not an LLC or corporation. They've been owned for 7 years and have at least 35% equity. Those are the only filters we need. We're gonna go ahead, select all, save this list. Okay, go ahead, create whatever you want. We're just gonna call it Jacksonville. Now I already pulled this list, Jacksonville SMS, because spoiler alert, we are going to be marketing to these properties using SMS, and I'll show you why in a second, because I've been against SMS for many years, but I've recently changed my stance on it, and I'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's go pull the list. So once you save the list, it'll go ahead, it'll take a second, probably 5 minutes or whatever, and then it'll show up right here. So as you can see, 1,500 of them came back. We're gonna go ahead and select those, and we're going to export them. We're gonna export them to Excel. This is all perfect. We don't need anything else. Next, file name, Jacksonville SMS list. Next, perfect. Don't need to tag it. Done. So they're working on the export. Once it's completed, we'll be able to get it over here in reports. Save and exports, it'll pop up, boom, right here. Obviously, it's still working on that. So In the meantime, we're gonna show you the next thing, which is gonna be smarter contact. Now, as I said earlier, I have been an SMS hater for many years. I've tried it. I've tried launch control. I tried it on batch back when they had that. I've tried SMS, and guess what? I was able to get deals from it, but never consistently. And I was like, fuck this, because there were all kinds of problems with messages not delivering. But then I learned from some friends who do very well with SMS. They were like, well, you're doing SMS wrong. And I said, well, what do you mean? And they walked me through their SMS process, and they were like, okay, basically, when you send out a text and somebody responds positively to it, as long as you structure your text the correct way, you just immediately cold call that person. They basically said you need to treat SMS just like cold calling, except for it skips all the people who pick up the phone and are not interested, or you have the wrong number. So you're only cold calling essentially the people who say, yes, I'm interested. So it massively cuts down the amount of time you have to spend doing it. And I was like, okay, interesting. They're like, you, on the other hand, were sitting there texting back and forth with these people like a schoolgirl trying to buy their house over text. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. And they're like, no, that's dumb. And I was like, oh, that is kind of dumb. And then I did it their way, and I immediately got a deal in my very first campaign. And I was like, oh, this works. So in addition to that, I had problems with the other softwares because texts were never delivering, right? They made you jump through all these hoops of words that you could send in the text. And if you had certain words, the message wouldn't get delivered, but you were still sending it. So it's wasting a bunch of money. Basically, it was a huge pain in the ass. And they said, no, you got to use this. You got to use Smarter Contact. And it's expensive, but it's worth it. Okay. So basically what I'm going to show you on Smarter Contact is you should only get this. You should only use this strategy if you can at least afford this plan right here. Okay. These plans right here are bullshit. They're billed quarterly. They're expensive. They don't give you any texts, like any outbound text. These ones are the only ones that are worth it. Okay. And by the way, everybody can use code Tyson and you can get $200 off your first month of any of these plans. You're welcome. Anyway, unless you can at least get this one, which is $800 a month, I do not recommend doing this strategy. Okay. Because it's going to be like too expensive. You're not going to be able to send enough text. You're not going to get value from it. So unless you can afford the $1,000 a month minimum, this isn't for you. Okay. Like I said, if you guys are interested in like how to get wholesale deals for free, leave it in the comments below. I'll make that video too. But this, in my opinion, is the absolute 100% best way for somebody to either get their first deal or if you're done deals before, get to that consistent 20 to 50K at super healthy profit margins without needing a ton of VAs or employees or anything like that. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Get this 20,000. I have this, I believe, we're at this 50,000 a month mark. This 50,000 SMS mark. Anyway, let me go ahead and log in and hold up. We need to get my list. Is my list done? Okay, perfect. We're done. So we're gonna go ahead and save this. We do need to convert it to a CSV in order for us to upload it into Smarter Contacts. So I've just opened it up, go to file. We're going to export to CSV. Perfect. Save. Done. That's what I'm talking about. Cool. So now that's good to go. So we're going to go into Smarter Contact and we're going to go to contacts and we need to upload the contacts we just created. So let me go here. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. It's in documents. Gotcha. All right. So SMS list, export. Okay. Perfect. Now browse documents. SMS list, banger. Okay, perfect. So it's gonna go ahead and upload the list. Done, fantastic. Next. So first thing we need to do is go ahead and map the fields. You're just gonna go ahead, first name, last name. This is all self-explanatory, but I'll show you because you're gonna need to watch this because it does get a little weird. So property city, property city, property state, property state, property address, property address, property zip, property county. We don't need that. Now, phone. You have spots for 4 phone numbers. So you don't need to do anything with phone type, just phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, scroll this over, and phone 4. Boom. And then that's it. Go ahead, press apply. Now, not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck all of these. Perfect. Apply. Okay. You do whatever it is you want. I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck those. Not legal advice, consult your attorney, do whatever you want, but that's what I'm gonna do. So we got a total of 3,800 phones with 16 or almost 1,700 valid mobile phone numbers. Obviously we're not gonna text landlines, so fuck that. Perfect. So we got this campaign ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and push this to campaign. We're gonna call this Jacksonville, and then I'm gonna name it today's date, which is 6/19. Perfect. Now we're gonna go ahead, we got the list, perfect. We got the contacts, 1,700. Now it is going to be a text campaign. Now with the message templates, as I've said, I've already made my message templates. I'm gonna show them to you, but I'm gonna show you real quick how you can make yours. Here are my ones for land, boom, okay. So initial one, oh wait, hold up, where's my outbounds? Perfect, okay. Outbound 1, outbound 2, outbound 3, outbound 4, outbound 5, outbound 6, outbound 7, outbound 8. You're gonna wanna make 8 different outbound messages. So I'm gonna show you exactly what they look like. They're all exactly like this. Hey, this is John. John is my made up guy. I don't put my real name. You just want a normal, regular sounding name here. John, Steve, Barry. Don't do Chad. People get pissed at Chad. Or also girls' names work really well too. But don't do your own name. Just do a regular sounding biblical name, okay? Just something that nobody's gonna take offense to. Hey, this is John. Would you like to sell your property at address? This will automatically put their address in there for cash. No fees or repairs needed. Have a wonderful day. Basically, is what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, ChatGPT, can you write me 8 different SMS templates I can use in an outbound mass SMS campaign to find wholesale real estate deals? The SMS templates need to include my name, John in this scenario, the property's address, and then I'm gonna put just use bracket address for this. They need to mention the benefits of my offer. Pick your own close date. We pay closing costs. We buy as is, etc. And they need to be less than 130 characters. Now, you can actually do more characters in here. I can't remember exactly how many it is, but you want to do 130 because you never know how long the address is going to be. Okay. Be nice and polite. Cool. So now it's going to go ahead and write me. Oh, whoops. I completely forgot. Completely forgot. Don't use the word offer. That's also another parameter you need to tell it. So perfect. Look, hey, this is John. Would you consider selling address? I buy as is, pay closing costs, and you choose the closing date, right? And now it's going to go through and it created me 8 different templates. Copy and paste them in here, add them, make them outbound 1 through 8. Okay? Perfect. Next, you're gonna wanna go ahead and select phone numbers. Now you can buy phone numbers from here. I can't remember how much money they are, but you're gonna need at least 3 for a campaign of this size. I already have 4 Florida phone numbers, so I'm good to go here. Boom, schedule your campaign. Now this is how you can choose to actually like schedule it out. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna send them right now. And then send all messages at once. I'm gonna just do yes for right now. You're gonna wanna start with no, and it'll automatically based on, oh, by the way, I completely forgot to mention, when you get signed up with Smarter Contact, you have to get 10 DLC approved, which means you need to have an LLC, and basically you have to get 10 DLC approved, which is where you submit your LLC documents. They have a whole thing on it. Like Smarter Contact has a whole thing on how to do it. It's super easy. It does take about a week, and then based on your approval, it'll give you this number of contacts. It doesn't matter, but basically is what you need to know is that it will throttle, if you send all your messages at once and do no, it'll throttle the amount of messages it sends so you can kind of like be more in control of how many messages are coming in so you're not overwhelmed. Now, I'm really good at this and I can answer them all really fast, so I don't care. I'm just gonna say yes, send all messages at once. Run a message for set period, no, and then action for replies. The only thing you need to do here, and the thing that I recommend doing, is basically, these are these automatic actions you can do. And when a contact doesn't reply, I'm gonna say replies via text or call, then add the label answered. And then I'm gonna add a message where they wait 1 day, and if they don't answer, it's gonna send them another text that's just an easy little follow-up text, which I have where is it? Follow-up 1, perfect. It just basically, if they don't answer after a day, it's gonna send them another text. It's just, hey, are you interested? Let me know. And then it also has opt-out language. Oh, which I forgot to mention, when you guys are making the new templates, remove the opt-out text. Not legal advice, this is just what I do. Anyway. But on this follow-up one, you wanna keep the opt-out language in, okay? And then also just do the same thing here, where if they reply via text or call, add them to answered. And boom, you're good to go, all right? This is exactly how you wanna set up your campaign. So we're gonna go ahead, press next. It's gonna generate our messages. Now, this is kind of annoying. You may want to download an auto clicker to do this for you, but essentially you need to click through this every single time. Basically, this is Smarter Contacts way. Oh, and just to explain to you what's going on is basically this is the person we're texting and it's sending from this phone number. This is the property we're texting and this is the message that's getting sent. So as you can see, it switches up the phone numbers, switches up the templates. This is how it makes sure that messages still get delivered, your numbers don't get marked as spam and whatnot. But basically you're gonna go through and you're gonna click this until you've sent all the messages. Again, I recommend getting an auto clicker to go through and do this for you. My people who send these messages for me have them and it makes it a lot easier. I do not have one on this, so I'm gonna sit here and click through all of this like a dumbass. But basically while I'm clicking through, I'm gonna go ahead and explain what's gonna happen. We're gonna send all these messages and messages are gonna start coming in. Most of them are gonna say, I'm not interested in selling, wrong number, go to hell, whatever, things like that. What we're looking for is people who say, how much are you offering? Yes, I'm interested, or I will sell it for X. They'll say, I'll sell it for $1 million, whatever it is. Basically, if they say any one of those three, or if they say, how much are you offering? We immediately want to call them. If they say, yes, I'm interested, we immediately want to call them. If they say, I will sell it for, I'm going to show you where you can really easily pull the property up on Zillow. And my rule of thumb is if it's at least within 10% of the Zestimate, I call them, right? So if it's over 10% of the Zestimate, I call them. Now, when you call them, they might not answer. So you're going to go ahead and text them and you're going to say, hey, just try to give you a call about this property to get you an offer. When would be a good time for me to call you back, right? And you want to go ahead and set an appointment to call them. But essentially, any person who is one of those three, we immediately want to get on the phone with. Where people mess up is what I used to do, where I try to sit there and text them and ask them questions about the property. No, you immediately want to call them. Now, some people will say, hey, can we actually just keep going over text? That's fine to keep texting those people. But for the most part, you want to get them on the phone as soon as possible, okay? That will make a huge difference in your success, right? Your speed to lead, your speed from the amount of time somebody texts one of those three positive responses to when you actually get on the phone with them is so important, right? Anyway, let's go ahead, send the rest of these texts, and we'll fast forward to when I'm actually done with this. Perfect, done. Okay, confirm. So the messages have now been sent. We are now going to go into the messenger where we're going to go to unread and we will wait for messages to come in, okay? Basically, messages are going to come in through here and we are going to be looking for, like I said, let me just go to, for instance, this messenger. Okay, let's see, campaigns. All right, looks like my virtual assistant did this campaign. Basically, from there, he sent out things, hey, are you seeking homes in Mesa? Would you consider cash sale in yours? Have a great day. He said 300,000. This is gonna be within our criteria, so we pushed this over to a lead and immediately had somebody give him a call. This guy right here, hey, seeking homes in Phoenix. Would you consider a cash sale on yours right here? Sure. right? Immediately gave him a call. We go through right here. Hey, are you interested in a cash deal? What kind of deal? We immediately give him a call. What's your lowest offer? We immediately give them a call. I'm interested. How much cash, right? These are the people that we immediately want to get on the phone. We push over his leads and we start talking to, right? Now, let's go just to a campaign here and you'll see, let me go not leads, about basically, right? So people say, are you interested in shutting, okay, this is not, yeah. Right? This guy wants 5 million, probably ridiculous. This guy says 500,000. We just go to info, we click this, it'll pull up his estimate, and we can go ahead and see, okay, this estimate on his property is 400,000, right? We're not gonna be able to give him 500, so not interested, right? It's simple as that. Now, messages are coming through. Hey, ready to sell your home? No hassle. Have a great day. This guy's, no, cool, not interested. And then it goes away. And basically, as messages come in, we just sort of sit here and wait for them to, just like those people who say, yes, I'm interested. What's your offer? Or I'll sell it for, and if it's within 110 or within 10% of the Zillow price, we go ahead and give them a call. Okay, guys, if you sit there and you consistently do this, you consistently send 1,500 texts a day, right? And you immediately call the people who respond positively using one of the three, right? Guys, look, remember the 3 positive responses, right? These mean we immediately call them are, yes, I'm interested, immediately call. How much? We immediately call. Or I'll sell it for X, with X being within 10% of his estimate, okay? And remember, if we call them and we don't answer, send a text that says, oh shoot, sorry boys, I am not showing my screen, right? Here's the 3 positive, and if they don't answer, we're gonna send them a text saying, hey, just tried to give you a call about your property so we can get you an offer. When is a good time to call back, right? Boom, just like that. Now, one last word on actually working the system and using this is you need to make sure that if somebody says yes and then does not answer, you need to continue to follow up with that person, okay? So, you're right, if you call them, they don't answer, text them again 3 hours later. Hey, are you still interested? Right? They still don't answer the next day. Hey, are you no longer interested? Flip on negative, but keep following up with those people who showed intent, okay? If you do that, you are going to get deals, all right? And if you do this consistently is where you're gonna get to that 2 to 4 deals a month that is gonna allow you to make that $20,000 to $50,000 a month consistently with wholesaling real estate, okay? Now, if you feel like you need more help, if you're not sure on how good you are in the actual sales process of when you get on the phone with these people, if you're not sure about how to actually analyze these deals and you don't know if you're offering people too much or too little, if maybe you're getting these deals but you're not able to sell them or you're not selling them for as much money as you possibly think you could and you're not making enough money per deal, then it might be a good idea for you to look into joining my inner circle where me and my team will help you with all of those things, okay? If you're interested in that, there's a link down below where you can book a free call to see if it's a good fit for you, right? Guys, again, when you join my inner circle, we're going to coach you up on everything you need to be able to successfully close wholesale real estate deals, right? You're going to get access to all kinds of different trainings. You're going to get access to weekly calls. You're going to be able to get one-on-one direct help from me via messages when you can message me and I'm going to help you out, okay? You're also going to get access to my full-time underwriter who is going to analyze all your deals for you. This is the person that analyzes my deals. When I get sent a deal, I send it to him. He says, here's the ARV, here's the MAO, here's how much the repairs are, here are the comps, here's how much you should offer. okay? And you can get access to that very same service when you're a member of my inner circle, okay? If you're interested, if you wanna see if it's a good fit for you, go ahead, hit the link down below and book a call and see if it is a good fit. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, let me know. If you guys have any other ideas of other videos you'd like me to make, something you're curious on, something I can help you with, let me know in the comments. And lastly, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe, okay? It helps me so much and I really appreciate it, and it gives me dopamine, and that's what keeps me to make more videos just like this, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, do all of that, share with your friend that needs to see this, and go make a ton of money. And when you do, send me a DM on Instagram so we can get hyped together. And if I don't hear from you before then I'll see you then.